Alright folks, just a little video to show you how deep these floods were in Barmah. Now that's Hutt Lake. You can see my car over there and my young bloke. Ground's fairly flat here. Here's my wife standing at the base of a red gum tree. Now, looking further in there into that timber, and there's probably areas in there that are 2.5 to 3 feet lower than where my wife's standing right now. So as she pops her hand up the tree again, you can see near her hand a distinct line between a greyish, whitish area and a green area to the right hand side of her hand. Well, the height of the water got to the top of that green area. So where we are right now, and this entire area that you're looking at, was 7 feet deep in water at the height of these floods. And that explains why the horses found isolated high spots out there on the other side of that timber on what's known as the sand ridge to stand up on. It's not a case of they didn't want to be knee deep in water or chest deep in water or shoulder deep in water. At 7 feet tall in an area like this, the horses would have been underwater. Now sure, there would have been areas out there where the ground's slightly higher and they might have only been chest deep, but the bottom line is, to get to a point where they were not standing in water in any way, shape or form, they had to get to locations that were more than 7 feet higher than where I am now. Now that the Murray's back in its banks and the floods are gone, you can see some water out there in Hutt Lake, and it scopes around and travels off down the creek there through the trees. And that would be, you know, what you would be happy to call an average maximum height of the water in here at times where there weren't floods. So you can see just the extent of the height of the floods. Now you'll notice down the left hand side of this tree you can see some horizontal lines. As the waters started to recede, that's where the mud silt that was sitting in the waters managed to cling to the tree and start to dry out, and then the water would drop another 1.5 inches or 3 inches or however far it dropped across the process of getting back to where we are now. So you can see it took awful long time. It would have been, you know, incremental drops over 40 to 45 days to get to a point where that solid grey elephant foot, for want of a better description, at the base of the tree is where the water levels got back to just prior to going back to there. So it was a long duration flood. It would have risen much faster than it left, and as a result of that, many creatures that lived in this forest, be it the horses, be it kangaroos, wallabies, emus, you know, anything, would have had one hell of a time trying to survive it. There is an awful lot of death out here in the park because the animals died in massive numbers. But that just puts it into perspective for you folks. This that we're looking at now in an average year would be considered normal, and that water level would probably be a good 2.5 to 3 feet lower than where I'm standing now. And you could see over there on the tree it got to a good 7 feet up that tree. So, you know, it was a sizable event. It was an extreme event. What can I say? That's nature for you.